Alright, good morning. Friday. Made it. Is everybody happy? You bet your ass we're happy. COVID update. COVID's losing, chiropractic's winning, everybody else is somewhere in the middle. Let's see, where are we at? Overview. Buddy Bruce, World Health Organization, Wuhan, China. This is the rise and fall of COVID. This red line is my red line with my PowerPoint expertise. And let's just see what's going on throughout the world. Here is the world. It was rising, now it's falling. Here's the US, it's rising, it's falling. Spain, they're kind of getting their butt kicked there for a bit. They're on their way down. Germany is doing the best out of this whole thing here. Well, not the best, but one of the best as far as infection to death rate. Italy, we all know what happened over there. They've got a little bit of a slower decline, but it's still a decline. And Sweden, our friends, because what are they doing over there? Basically nothing. They're saying, hey, we'd appreciate it if you stay home, but we're not closing down your work or anything like that. So we're not going to ruin our economy for no big deal. But I digress. I've been digressing a lot lately. Again, let's look at this all to scale, because I actually did this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different graphs, 5 different countries, and then the world. What's it look like if these are actually to scale? Because this axis isn't the same as this axis. These two axes are the same, but this one's different, and this one's different still. So, let's chalk it all up, one next to the other. Big difference, right? This changes the narrative a bunch. The scary narrative, the scarative, right? This changes this a bunch. This is what the entire world is doing. We shrink it down. Here's the U.S. This is to scale here. The U.S. is sitting about 35,000 on the scale for the infection rate. And then we get down to Italy. Remember how they're getting their asses handed to them? They were, but man, when we put it in proportion, and man, Spain and Germany, look, there's little bitty Sweden, who's, again, not ruining their entire economy and their country. Speaking of ruining the economy and the country, speaking of scare tactics, speaking of fear-mongering, oh man, there's some stuff going on here. There's really two sides of the aisle. Either A, you're looking at the big picture, or B, you can't see the forest through the trees. After the COVID-19 fallout ends, never forget some of your peers and elected representatives were advocating for your death in order to save the economy. From an actual Harvard medical doctor. What does it mean to advocate for death? Does it mean to bump up the numbers because the AMA is encouraging American doctors to overcount coronavirus deaths? Is that what advocating for death is? Got this Minnesota senator who's been in the hot seat because he says, hey, these people are dying with COVID-19, not because of COVID-19. Let's see what advocating for death looks like. Here's some numbers. Just good old-fashioned black and white numbers, well, with shades of green, yellow, and red. If we take the world population, 0.02% of the world is infected. 0.00157% will die. This isn't like a rounding error. This isn't, I forgot to move the decimal point. This would be 1%. So we're not even 1%. We're 0.001%. Okay, let's take it into the U.S. Same thing going on here. Only 0.1% of the population is infected. This was as of April 14th. So what was that? Tuesday. This is when I put these numbers together. Okay. Fatal cases. Basically, if you live in the U.S., you have a 0.0071% chance of dying from COVID. Okay. Is there a chance? Sure, there's a chance. Let's look at some other chances. From Harvard, if you go to the doctor and they prescribe you medication, you have a 0.03% chance of dying. Chances of dying from COVID in the U.S., 0.0071. Chances of dying from properly prescribed medication, 0.03. 0.03 is a bigger number. Let's look at the flu. Let's look at the flu last year. Why last year? Because it's a full set of data. Okay, this year's flu, 19 into 20, flu season is still going on. And we talked last time about how it is going on, it's not going on, they're being misdiagnosed as COVID. Either way, we don't have a full data set. Let's go to last year for the full data set. The chance of you getting the flu last year was 13% in the United States. Again, the chance of you getting COVID is 0.17%. Chance of you getting the flu is 13%. The chance of you dying from COVID was 0.007. The chance of you dying from the flu, 0.018. So if we just take this over here, we'll just take out the numbers so it's not all mixed up here. Chances of exposure. Highest chance of exposure to the flu. Second lowest chance of exposure to COVID if you live in the U.S. If you take in the world population, it's even less. Chances of dying. You have a higher chance of dying by taking prescription medications, properly prescribed prescription medications, than you do from COVID if you live in the U.S. If you live in the world, if you live in the world, your chance is even death. So again, who's advocating for your death? And who's just propagating fear? Speaking of propagations, we went over this the other day. New York City, their death toll jumps past 10,000 because in one day, 3,700 people were added to the list who were suspected of having COVID but never tested. Turns out a lot of those people died at home. Why did they die at home? Were they too afraid to go outside? Were they too afraid to go to the hospital? Were they too afraid because people are making them afraid? This is unnecessary. Epidemiologist, senior researcher at Rockefeller University. We've already had 2 of these outbreaks. This one would have run its course in a similar fashion. Kids should be in school. Only the frail should be isolated because they're the ones most at risk. If you're young, healthy, not diabetic, not overweight individual, basically if you're an average American, and the average American is pretty unhealthy, but if you're an average American, you would have been fine. You will be fine. Again, this is not a crisis. Fun little fact here, apparently if you got the flu vaccine this year, you had a higher chance of getting COVID. Again, this year, 0.1% of Americans are infected with COVID-19. 99.9% don't have it. Why is this a crisis? I don't know. Again, a little bit of vaccine research going on here. The flu vaccine is 43% effective. They've been making that for years, and they can't even get it to a coin flip yet. But people are jumping at the chance to get the COVID vaccine because they're developing it in under a year. We've had 10 years of flu vaccine. They talk about how the COVID thing is mutating and changing. What's a vaccine going to do? Top of that, it's not that dangerous. The flu is more dangerous. We have a vaccine for it that doesn't work. COVID is not dangerous, and we're going to have a vaccine for that. That doesn't work. Again, record-setting speed. We've had the flu vaccine for decades. It doesn't work. But we're going to make this one really, really fast, so it'll work good. That makes sense. I got to get as many people under chiropractic care as I can. This is the healthcare high ground. This is a place without fear. This is a place with hope. There's no hope in medicine right now. There's so little hope they have to lie about how bad this is. Texas, opening up, getting people back to work. You know why? Because I've said it a bunch of times. Because this isn't that big of a deal. This isn't to downplay those who are suffering, who are hurting. This is a real thing. People out there are suffering. People out there suffering from AIDS, too, in a much greater number. We haven't done a whole lot about that in the past 20 years. Germs don't make you sick. COVID doesn't make you sick. God, it's all about the environment. What kind of environment are you creating? What kind of environment are you maintaining? Research about chiropractic and immunity. There's a bunch of it out there. Again, this is a blessing. Get your stuff together. You know what? This afternoon, 12:15, talking with Kadima and Casey of DT School and Fitness about accountability. Okay? We got to come out of this thing better than what we went in. We have to. If you want to win, if you want to succeed, you got to be better than you were. And we've had a month, we're going to have another week or two to just really get everything together, get everything tight so we can come out of this thing gangbusters, just guns a-blazing as better people. They're going to tell us the secrets on how to do it. Again, come get adjusted. Doesn't have to be by me. Go to your chiropractor. Go to somebody else. Go to somebody who's going to treat the body right. Because your brain controls your body. It does through your spinal cord, out the nerves, tell your body how to eat, how to think, how to be good. Oh, man, I love Fridays. I love chiropractic. I love being healthy. I love doing the right things. Oh, phone call. Gotta go. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.